Hello, welcome back to Crash Bandicoot 2 N-Trance. Today we're going into Istanbul was Constantinople. Now it is Istanbul, not Constantinople. And we're going to get killed by some person with knives. Anyway, this is obviously the next Arabian level, and this one introduces the ropes. What the hell was that? Charlie is here. Unlike, so what the hell?
That song you remember that?
Oh yeah, but why we? That was supposed to be Shakaron Macaron to you confused viewers. Uh, why he was singing that, I have no idea. But anyway, yeah. As you can probably see by the video length, this video is about just under 21 minutes long. So, which is going to be the new way that I do N-Trance. Not sure if I'm going to be doing other games like this. It obviously depends on the game. Like any Let's Play will tell you that different, or I don't know if any Let's Player will, but it seems like they would. Just sort of one of those things you say, you know. But I would assume that most Let's Players would tell you that you kind of have to adjust your video length like average video length depending on what kind of game it is. Like games with lots of these short levels are generally not going to be particularly long because, well, they could. You could either do like ones with quite long sets of a few levels like we're doing here, or you could do like a few levels at a time. But then there's other games where they don't really have levels. They're more like just long sections of the game, and you're not gonna do that one section in one video. Or at least you're probably not going to. Stuff like Zelda and Okami adventure games. So you're gonna have to do sort of, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes of video length. It all depends. Games like Minecraft, you can do any length because it just depends on what kind of task you're doing, doesn't it?
It's a sandbox, Martin. You can do anything.
Well, yeah, I know. I'm just saying. Yeah, that's what I mean, though. That's what I mean. Obviously, in any sandbox game, the videos can be any length because you take different amounts of time for different tasks that you're trying to do. But enough talking about games that I have no idea what I'm talking about because I don't play sandbox games, and that includes Minecraft. So don't ask me for that. Maybe Charlie will, except not really because there are too many Minecraft Let's Plays. Haven't been talking much about this level. It introduces the ropes and those enemies with the swords, but other than that, there's nothing particularly new. There is a section down there with the gem shard. At least I think that's where the gem shard is. I don't actually know.
It is.
It is? Okay, I could have sworn it was somewhere else, but yeah. The gem shard is down there. But you want that's a metal checkpoint, which is not seen very often. But yeah, what you want to do is go up there first because you can't go back really on this section after you've jumped to a certain point. So you definitely want to do the upper part first.
That is if you care about the boxes.
Yeah, that's if you care about the boxes. If you don't, then obviously you can just skip ahead this part and go to when I stop failing at the bonus level and the section with the gem shard. Yesterday, well, no, not yesterday. Well, it was yesterday for us, but for people watching this video, it will have been a week ago that I uploaded my console capture test to test my new thing. The only it looks fine so far. I uploaded in 4 ACP, which is all that 6th and 7th generation consoles go up to in terms of quality, and my sound quality isn't really a priority to me. The only problem I have is the sound itself kind of sounds a bit weird. I'm not sure what the problem is there, but yeah. It also introduces these enemies which drop fireballs down onto the ground. They're not particularly difficult to beat. You can just wait until they stop dropping their fireballs and either run past them or spin them. There will be another carpet section coming up, but I sucked at it so bad that I'm going to have to speed that part up. Actually, it's coming up pretty soon, so yeah, I'll see you guys after that happens. Um, Hello, yeah, welcome back. Obviously, you just saw me fail at that part in glorious 4 times sped up. But that is the end of the level. So I will be continuing now. The reason this video is going to be longer is because I'm doing the entire world in this video, and not just, you know, a few levels, which is the way I'm going to do it from now on, so that the video lengths aren't really weird. Yeah. So, this is a new kind of level. Now that you've defeated Evil Coco, you'll be able to play as her in these space levels, which I don't really like them, to be honest. The one thing I'm glad about with them is that there's only 2 of them, as far as I know, and this is one of them, and it's not particularly difficult. So I don't know. I haven't played the other one yet, but I don't know if it's difficult or not. Hopefully it isn't, and even if it is, it's still only 1 level. I'm not sure if I mentioned this in the recording, but me and Charlie have kind of mutually agreed that this game is more or less just as good as XS, maybe a little bit better, because its main levels, like its levels where you're on the ground, you know, where you get the gem shards and stuff, the Arabian levels, the Egyptian levels, and the whatever the other one is, the Tiki levels, they're a lot better than the ones in XS. Like XS had their jungle levels and the space levels and whatnot, and those are okay, but I much prefer these ones because they're just a lot more interesting, a lot more varied. However, their entranced like special levels, you know, like flying around and the atmosphere and stuff, are a lot worse than XS's. XS had a quite decent other archetypes of levels, you know, like its flying levels and its underwater levels. Those were alright. If maybe a little bit boring, but at least they weren't annoying. I don't know, I just don't really like the bonus ones in this. But there's nothing really much to say here. You're going to be being chased by this solar flare, and one thing that confused me for a little while was that you're actually not controlling Coco, but you're controlling the ring in front of her, and you want to be moving that, and also where she shoots will be the center of the ring. So if you want to try to get a box, try to line it up at the center of the ring and fire with I think it's A. There's also the speed boosts, which are useful. But anyway, now we're going into Mr. Lava. After I stop messing around, apparently. Yeah, okay, now we're going into Mr. Lava. Obviously a pun on Mr. Bombastic. Charlie, you still here?
Yeah.
Okay, it's just you've been awfully quiet. If people can still hear you, I'm going to try to turn up my volume quick. Okay.
That better?
You just blatantly shouted. Okay. One thing that I got confused about here was those parrots. Like I said, these levels are based on levels in, well, I mean the Tiki levels are from Wrath of Cortex, and in those Wrath of Cortex, the parrots, when defeated, would drop those feathers, same as in this game. But in Wrath of Cortex, the feathers could actually hurt you if you touch them, even after you killed the enemy. and I don't know, I just got I got confused in this game at first, and I thought that the same would apply here, but it doesn't. You don't need to worry about the feathers here. It's just an effect. But I remember being really confused the first time I did that in Wrath of Cortex, where I was just, I spun the bird, I went by, and for some reason I got hurt, and the feathers disappeared. I'm like, why do the feathers hurt you? But either way.
The feathers are very sharp.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's all I could think of. That like the parrot just is like, oh no, Crash killed me. I have to try to kill him by dropping my surprisingly sharp feathers or something. I don't know. A feature that this level introduces is the rockets. It's not really interesting. But yeah. So we have more of the helipack, which I still don't know if that's actually its official name. I seem to remember that it being called that, and I don't know why I would remember it as that if it wasn't. But either way, and it's really just more of the same. One thing that I found. No, never mind. But yeah. Here, that checkpoint that you just got, that is the last checkpoint in the level. So you want to be really careful in this next part that you don't die, because it's quite a waste. It's a fair amount to go before the end. And this part is especially tedious because the helipack moves so slowly. Just be careful you don't touch the floor there, because apparently the floor is apparently you can get hurt by going into the floor. You need to super slide here if you want to go under the thing, because otherwise you won't be able to rate the boxes. This part isn't necessary, by the way, if you're following along. Just if you don't want the blue gem shard, just don't go this way. Yeah, and going back isn't too much of a trouble as long as you stay on the edge of the platforms and don't and try to jump when it's safe and not when the platform is close. Except on that one, obviously. Coming up near the end of the level here.
If you can't tell he's missed a box, he'll probably show a clip.
Oh yeah, I've missed a box which I haven't mentioned. I wouldn't actually recommend following this level as I am doing it because I've missed a box, but I would watch this, do the next part. I watch the next part where I reveal where the I reveal my secrets, where I show the missing box. At this point you should have 88 boxes, which is my brother's favourite number. Don't say his name.
Who? Data BEM.
Delta BEM, yeah.
Ready to clip?
Yeah. So here's the box I missed. As soon as you get the helipack, you want to go up here, and there's a life crate there. So yeah, don't miss that if you're going for all the boxes.
Well done.
But anyway, now that we're done with that, we're going on to the next Egyptian level, Slip and Slide and Sphinx. This one introduces quite a few new things, actually. It introduces the first obvious thing being the water that goes up. Crash can go a fair amount underwater in this game, unlike Twinsanity, where if he gets his toes wet, he throws a tantrum and dies.
Twinsanity you can do quite a lot in the water.
Really?
Yeah.
I seem to remember being on Insanity Beach, walking into the water, a little bit, so it went up to his ankles, and he was like, ugh, and just fell over dead.
No. When's the last time you played Twinsanity?
Years ago.
Well, I played it recently.
Okay, maybe I'm remembering it a bit wrong, but I do remember that he couldn't go very far in the water without drowning.
Yeah, you can't go very far, but it doesn't go up to his toes. It goes up to about his chest.
Okay. In this game is a lot better about it. I think if it goes above his nose and eyes in this game, then he starts to drown. And by starts to drown, I mean just dies and floats to the top of the water.
Which doesn't make any sense whatsoever, because if he could float to the top of the water anyway, why didn't he do that in the first place?
No, you don't get it. It's when you drown, because this might sound really gruesome, but when you drown, you're people don't sink in water naturally. Obviously, they have air in their lungs, so they float to the top. They just float in a position where their face goes under the water. So yeah. When people drown, it's actually just because they're not they're going into their flotation like position, which has their chest like at the top of the water and their face in the water, so they can't breathe. But when you like die from the lack or collapse from the lack of oxygen, that's not what kills you. It's the fact that you float to the top and then like your lungs fill with water because obviously it's going in your mouth, and then when your lungs are filled with water, they're no longer lighter than it, so you start to sink. But Crash can't like naturally float to the top of the water and just be safe because of that.
Alright.
At least that's why I'm pretty sure that's the case. And like I haven't done any like scientific lessons at any point with anything about drowning, and I haven't gotten any official like confirmation from people who know what they're talking about this. But
From the University of Drowningsology.
yeah, sure, why not? It's bonus level. Actually, I like this bonus level. It's nice. It's a breather from the other bonus levels, which have started to become a bit more difficult. But this one's quite easy. It's there's not much to it. It has the water like in the rest of the level, but if you are careful, you don't have to worry about that. Here, what you want to do, if you want the life crate, just go over there and spin that before you activate the TNT. But otherwise, just activate the TNT, and that should be your 26 boxes. There's not much left of the level now. If you follow this, if you follow me, sorry. These enemies have shields. You can't walk into them, or else they'll do that, and they'll actually bump you backwards. You need to jump over them. But coming up on the end of the level here I die because I was being rushy and stupid. You may have noticed my life went down more than just one there because I kind of died again to this crocodile. I just edited it out because nobody needed to see that. It was a pointless extra few seconds. Obviously, even though I'm trying to make these videos longer for the sake of completing a world, you do want to still. I mean, I do. Wow. Okay. I do still want to keep it as short as possible. I want to get all the worlds in. I mean, I want to get a world in per video. I just don't want to make it, pointlessly long. I don't want to have anything unnecessary in here. Just the whole world. That's it. In one video, as long as it takes. And yeah. So after that, you can't go left anymore because that leads to the boss, and you need to complete the other level if you want to do that, which is evidently a water level. I don't like this water level. It took me ages. In my practice, I died like once or twice, but in this one, you won't believe how many deaths I had to cut out. And actually, when I was editing it, I didn't have to cut out that many deaths, but then I remembered that I actually died so much in my original recording that I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to edit this all out. It's just going to look really, really bad on me. So I'm just going to record it again and then edit out any deaths. And then my second recording attempt was a lot better, but I still did die a few times. The seagulls are the worst part, and the buoys, and the shark.
49. You went down by 3 lives.
Yeah, I think that's the only time you see me die, because I think I've cut out all the lives of this. But yeah, I did a lot worse in my original attempt to record this. It's just the seagulls. You can't jump because of the seagulls, and even if you don't jump, the seagulls can still get you. And even then, there's the boys to worry about. and even then, the shark can get you, like, no matter how far ahead you are. Like, the only death you've seen here was, I don't know, I don't even know how that happened, because if you look at it, I'm very blatantly away from the shark. He just still gets me. I don't know, it's really annoying. But with a bit of practice, you should be able to do that. It's not even difficult if you're not trying to go for all the boxes. Or it might be a little bit difficult, but anyway, here's Fake Crash. I quite like this boss. Other people don't. I don't know why. But basically, he has 4 units of health. He copies your movements, but mirrored. the only way, the reason you can defeat him, because obviously his movements are mirrored, are because he can because the sides are not even. Like, the arrows don't all come up at the same time. Like here, you can see that the arrows are coming up at different times. So Crash and Fake Crash will be safe at different times. But yeah, it's not really difficult if you just practice a little bit. Aku Aku makes it a lot easier. If you die enough, you'll get an Aku Aku, and you'll be able to do exactly what I did. Anyway, we get the Tornado Spin, which isn't a new power. The Super Slide and the Rocket Jump are the only new powers in this game. But either way, we are now in World 4, so I'll see you next